Let's roll some questions for understanding IT. Lots to see here. Which organization created the COBIT framework? Here are 4 different organizations. Let's run through all of them and talk about why they are relevant or not important. The FASB, this is an organization, the Financial Accounting Standards Board, you might be familiar with if you've taken FAR. This is the organization that creates and maintains GAAP, and no relevance to the COBIT framework. I'm going to cross that off. Super important if we were taking FAR, but this is BEC. Last time I checked, we were in BEC, and not in FAR. So the Treadway Commission. Okay, the Treadway Commission, this actually does pop up, I believe, on all 3 tests, unless something has changed. But last I checked, it was on audit, BEC, and FAR. Treadway Commission, this is the organization that created the COSO framework, not having anything to do with the COBIT framework, something to trick you there. Not our answer. The ISACA, the Information Systems Audit and Control Association. To be honest, the only thing you should really know about the ISACA is that they created the COBIT framework, bringing us to our answer of letter C. And lastly, the U.S. Government IT Commission. This is not the case. Not too important there. Just a trick answer. And final answer is letter C. The ISACA created our COBIT framework. Which of the following statements is correct regarding IT governance? Let's take a look. Now, just as a good overview with all of this, IT governance needs to be practiced at all levels of the company. Now, with that being said, right here, letter A, it's an appropriate issue for organizations at the level of the board of directors only. Nope, should be practiced at all levels of a company. That crosses off letter A. That's just a criteria of IT governance. What about, is it a primary goal of IT governance to balance risk versus return over IT and its processes? Yeah, that sounds pretty solid. Definitely sounds pretty solid. Let's keep rolling through the answers though. IT goals should be independent of strategic goals. No, this is explicitly wrong. We need to align all of our goals together, right? And maybe that goal is integrity. So we're going to align all of our integrity in our company with our IT goals. We need to align everything. We can't have separate goals. We need to align everything with our mission. And IT governance requires that the COBIT framework be adopted and implemented. Is that the case? It does not require that. Now, I mean, sure, is it recommended? Yeah. But is it required? No, because maybe the COBIT framework is not meant for you. And we want you to do what is best for you as a company, not have to jump on this because someone tells you to. Final answer here is letter B. The IT governance of a company should be a primary goal to balance risk versus return over all of IT and its processes. All right, blank is a way of distributing software through applications hosted by a vendor and made available to customers over the web. Let's take a look. Well, first off, I'm going to eliminate some answers. IT as a service, this is not a term. Sure, maybe a company out there says, I provide IT as a service, but we are limiting our understanding of everything to what the test wants us to know. And per the test, this is not a term that we need to know. Now, platform as a service and software as a service are definitely terms in this exam. So those are possible answers. Infrastructure as a service, that could be, right? It's a little more grounded than IT as a service. However, infrastructure, well, hosted by a vendor, made available over the web, that's not infrastructure. It's not infrastructure at all. That is, infrastructure as a service might be providing computers and physical machinery, right? Not going to be our letter A. And again, that's not really as much of a term. It's better than D, but not really a term. These two, however, are much more terms in our exam. And which of these is correct? Well, software as a service, this relates to applications hosted by a vendor, and platform as a service allows customers to host their own applications. Now, with that being said, letter C is for sure the answer here. Platform as a service, this could be a Shopify, right? This could be somewhere online where they're some companies letting you host something. So platform as a service, YouTube is a platform as a service. You are using YouTube as a creator, as a consumer, and that platform is the service provided by YouTube, by Google, who owns YouTube. Software as a service, this is going to be like Adobe, right? Or there's so many things that are software as a service. Outlook, all these Microsoft web applications. Letter C, software as a service. So hosted by a vendor, hosted by Microsoft or Adobe, and made available to customers over the web. Think of all your recurring subscription softwares you use. Those are going to be our software as a service, SaaS. Which of the following potential risks to IT would be related to a risk from a competitor? Great question. Well, software defects. Does a competitor give us software defects? Maybe if they sneak into our plant and commit some corporate espionage, but generally speaking, any software defects, that's a result of us. That's internal. That's our problem. Patent infringement. Is this a risk from a competitor? Yeah, definitely seems like it could be a risk. If another company is third parties essentially blatantly attempting to rip us off and use something that we own, that for sure sounds to be the answer. Let's keep reading. Human error, again, sounds more internal. Maybe we have a new hire that accidentally shares all the passwords and incriminating information, lots of secrets to everyone. That's human error. They accidentally delete something. Malware, this is not necessarily a competitor. This malware, that's from a third party trying to corrupt your business, trying to cause you harm. Not necessarily a competitor, because again, if a competitor was doing this, it's illegal no matter what to try to hack into someone and use malware. But competitor, much more likely answer is letter B. A competitor is much more likely to commit patent infringement. Now, if you are trying to think about this and say maybe they're much more likely to commit malware usage, that could be the case. Maybe you've experienced that in your career, but my job is to teach you what the exam wants you to know, and per the exam, much more likely for a competitor to commit patent infringement. And that is going to be something, especially in audit, I'm going to be, I know how it is in the real world. I've been an auditor myself, I know, but this is how the exam wants you to know it. Sometimes it's frustrating. Not as much you'll see that for BEC, just something to keep in mind. Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining, and see you in the next one. Hey there. Are you ready to not only pass your CPA exams, but truly understand and enjoy the material while studying? I know it seems impossible, right? Especially to enjoy the material. We'll do it together. Tap into the power of CPA.examprep.ai, where we've got personalized quizzes, multiple choice questions, memorization guides, flashcards, simulations, all tailored to your learning. Our adaptive study planning puts you on the fastest path to success and lifts you back up if you fall behind. Avoid wasting your precious time and money attempting an exam with a low chance of passing, because who wants that? We want to get you through this process as quick as possible. Our exam readiness prediction lets you walk in with confidence, knowing that you're prepared for success on exam day. Thankfully, there's no payment method needed to get started, so why don't you come join us? Visit cpa.examprep.ai and let's achieve your exam success together.